We are going to be testing the new limited edition Haus Lab 6pan Eye Library eyeshadow palette. I want to do full swatches. There are two palettes that dropped. I picked up both palettes. We're going to do a look with each one. I'm going to do one today. I'm going to film one tomorrow, and then I'll get the video up a little bit later than that because I figured it would be nice to do both eyes with one different look so you guys could see. The eyeshadow palettes are called Volume 1 and Volume 2, the Super Neutrals. Here is the color story on Volume 1. They're actually a little bit smaller than I thought they're going to be, but they're really heavy in the packaging. So these retail for $49 a piece. These are supposed to be a clean, luxurious, smooth eyeshadow palette with next level pigment payoff and curated 6-way combos of plush matte, chrome shimmer, and bio glitters. These are actually formulated with plant squalene, which is supposed to nourish and soften hyaluronic acid. So it's supposed to be a hydrating formula, and vitamin E, which smooths and conditions. So they're gluten, cruelty-free, vegan. It says the limited edition palette includes 6 high-tech shades, talc-free skincare infused pigments that offer max intensity and stay true color that appears the same in the pan and on the skin. The mattes push the boundaries of performance with creamy textures, while the chrome shimmer and bio glitter hues animate lids with futuristic dimension and a metallic liquid effect. Okay, so for 6 pans, $49. It's definitely a little bit of a higher price point if you kind of imagine the midi palettes from Natasha Denona retail for $69. So for just $20 more, you get a ton more shades. So it is pretty small in comparison to like my hand. Same kind of chrome packaging. The one that I am showing you here is Volume 1, and this is the lighter color story of the two. I do want to start with Volume 2 tonight because I'm wearing something a little bit darker and I thought it would look best with the look that we have on today. The shelf life on these is 24 months and both of these palettes were made in Italy. I mean, I love that the packaging is consistent. I love the fact that these feel heavier. Here is the Volume 2 Super Neutrals. This is the one that I really want to play with tonight. The shades in the shimmers look a little bit different in texture. This one over here looks more foiled. These two are a little bit softer, and then you have 3 mattes over here in the corner. These mattes look like satins, like suede mattes. They're very soft and almost has a bit of luminosity to them. Little mirror on the inside if you guys saw that. And my favorite thing about these palettes, that it's an even ratio between the mattes and shimmers. That's my favorite thing in a smaller palette, especially a 6-pan palette like this. These shimmers on this one look delightful. You guys see those? But we're not going to start with that one today. We're going to start with Volume 2, the one my fingerprints are already all over, because it's a little bit of a deeper color story. And I want to try and use as many colors as I possibly can. So I'm going to do all over, crease, outer corner, and I'm going to try and take 2 of the shimmers. I'm going to take this one. This one almost looks like a little green, but let's swatch it and see if it doesn't come out more gold, because if it comes out more gold, we'll go into that one. So I'll leave this one, this lighter pink one alone, because I don't think I can also get that on the eyes, and just because that doesn't look as interesting a shade. So let's swatch left to right. We're gonna do live swatches. This first one feels extremely buttery. This one's really, really pretty and buttery smooth. This one, it looks a little bit more gold. It's not green, but it has more dimension than just being like a flat gold. Oh, I don't know. We might have to play with this one. That's the one I said we would leave alone, but it's so foiled. Wow, these swatch beautifully. This is a really good formula. And these mattes are like butter. They genuinely feel like butter. They're very, very soft. Let me do this mauve-y shade. It's more like taupe. Here we go. And then this deeper one in the outer corner looks much more suede, much more satin. There's that one. Not the best swatch. There's the full color story. The mattes don't look like anything to write home about, but we'll see how they blend together. All right, let's start with that more peachy shade and go all over. I want to see the pigmentation. This is not typically a shade that shows up great on my skin tone. Well, it's not. It's lighter, but it'll be a nice transition shade. I just don't, you can't wear this one on its own. Not for my skin tone. I'm gonna throw it on both eyes. It's a pretty powdery formula for sure. Like a lot of kickback in the pan. Really, really lightly pigmented. Can you even see it? It looks deeper here, but I'm not getting a whole lot of payoff. All right, I'm going into the crease with that like taupey shade. There's just not a whole lot like picking up on my brush. I'm in here digging away and not a lot is coming up. I mean, they're just so like creamy. They look almost like creamy satin shadows. This one is extremely lightly pigmented too. I am just burning through this pan. I don't know, I'm not like having the easiest time. I don't even want to say this, but it's like a little bit patchy. It looks like I'm hard panning it. Let me show you what this looks like already. I want it to focus. Okay, come on. Oh, this is a mauve. Mauve brown matte is what it's called. Doesn't it kind of look like I'm hard panning it with the brush? I mean, like, what is happening here? And it's honestly just a little bit skippy. What is it doing? Eat, 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 eat. Hello? Okay. There's just not a lot of pigment on these, you guys. They're not picking up on the brush well. I can not say, what is this? Look what I've done to this shade. Doesn't that look like hard panned already? What is going on? Build, 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 build. Okay, that's such a light shade. I'm getting like, my hand is tired already, okay? Is there anything even on my eyes? You guys, I mean, I see it, like I'm being a little facetious, but it's so lightly pigmented, it's frustrating. All right, I'm going into that shade that they call Smoky Brown Matte. Oh, this is an olive bio glitter. Fuchsia Chrome, Dusty Rose, Light Peach Matte, Mauve Brown, okay? And then Smoky Brown Matte is what they call these. So I'm going into the Smoky Brown Matte. And I'm praying for the best here. I like that this one's not overly pigmented so that, you know, you can build this deeper color, but I feel like the other mattes should have been more pigmented. I don't necessarily want to build as much with lighter shades as I do with the deeper ones. I don't know, that's just me personally. I mean, it's good to just have the ability to build up a shade with something deeper, especially if you don't know the level of intensity necessarily that you want. This is just patchy. This is a Refer 01 brush. I use this all the time. I even use these kind of brushes for drugstore. And what is this? What's going on? I used an LA Girl eyeshadow palette. I want to say it was like yesterday or the day before that just launched. How bad would it be if I said that palette that was $14.99 was more pigmented and better blending, better quality so far than this one? This looks like a smoky hot mess. The colors just, they don't diffuse great into each other. This isn't blending well. Can you guys tell, like, here's me blending it and it's like, it doesn't like over blends. It's not even buildable. I mean, not really. Build, 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 build. There's no fallout. That's nice. And the mauve is patchy. Like, even in the corner, it skipped a lot. So, it's not great. I don't love this so far. I'm sorry. Sorry, Lady Gaga. It's a little bit better on this side. Why? I don't know. I'm breaking through the hard pan. I have no idea why this other side is a lot patchier. This one looks a lot better over here. But this isn't brown. Smoky Brown Matte. Look how gray it is. This isn't gonna translate brown on anybody, you guys. This is like a charcoal color. So whoever was in charge of naming the shades, like, fire them from your team. I don't know. It's just so lightly pigmented. I'm telling you guys, like, these are not the quality you would expect from a $49 6-pan palette. And if I'm sitting here going, like, 2 days ago I put on a drugstore palette that, like, was better than this. I don't know. That's just not a good sign. So I'm actually gonna take the pinkier shade. I need to bring some color into this. And this one is the Fuchsia Chrome. I'm gonna put it in the middle. Okay, that's really darn pretty. The shimmers swatch good. The shimmers are pigmented. The shimmers are chromy and beautiful. Now I'm going into that one that she calls Dusty Rose Chrome, because it was, look how chromy it is. So gorgeous. Oh, this one's like a wet and tacky formula. This one's the nicest feeling. This one is gorgeous. Ooh, so pretty. Going back into that fuchsia and just like blending the two together. Oh, this Dusty Rose shade is so soft on the finger and it performs really well. It's really easy to apply. Plus, it's not adding like too much texture to the lids. It's a pretty smooth formula too, so that's really nice. All right, I'm just blending those together a little bit. I kind of wish I had just used that chrome all on its own. Well, no fallout. Like that I'll give it. I'm just gonna go back into that brown matte shade on the lower lash line in the outer corner. Then I'm gonna take that peach shade, see if it picks up at all, and bring it in the inner corner. No, there's nothing there. I'm going into the Dusty Mauve, which also isn't really picking up. Okay, let's get a tighter brush and see if it'll pick up on like a more dense brush. Not really. It's so lightly pigmented. I don't know about that. All right, I'm gonna go into the inner corner. I'm actually gonna take that one that's that olive bio glitter in the inner corner, and that's a good way to use all darn 6 shades. Wow, that one is punchy, but I kind of got it all over the place. There's like a lot of fallout with it. Well, it's kind of getting everywhere. I don't love the way that one looks. It might just not be a really good like inner corner highlight, because it's a glitter, so it's like a little bit chunkier, so I don't love it in the inner corner. It's like, it's not smooth and like staying where you'd want it like you would an inner corner highlight. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. I don't think I'm gonna get it any better, but yeah, it's definitely kind of getting everywhere. Let me throw on my mascara and then we'll come back. We will talk about the palette. Yeah, we'll talk about the palette. Okay. The final look isn't bad, you guys. I don't hate it. This is the cooler tone version of the two palettes, and I'm definitely interested to see how the warmer toned palette performs. I like the concept of these. I like the ratio, but man, the pigmentation on the mattes on these was so bad. Look at that mauve shade and how like defaced I've made it, trying to get some sort of pigmentation up. And usually when I get a shade that ends up looking like that, it's because it's so powdery. I'm digging into it so hard to get some real pigmentation out of it. And the shade name is atrocious. Brown, smoky brown matte. I mean, there's nothing brown about it. Not really. It's more like a smoky gray color. And that's okay. I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with this color story per se. The peach is maybe a little bit out of place if we're talking like color story. Again, not a bad look overall. I feel like it came out okay. But even after I like turned the camera off and I was applying my mascara, I went back into that shade and was deepening up like this eye over here. I even feel like I need to deepen it up right now. Hold on a second. Like I had touched it and it like started to, I don't know, even fade a little bit more. All right, I'm just gonna be honest. So what I was thinking when I was putting my mascara on was that like, okay, these are limited edition. Let them be limited edition and then let them go away. So Lady Gaga has time to improve her matte formula and she comes back and she gives us better quality. I know it's like harsh. I feel bad for saying that a little bit, but at the same time, you guys, I'm telling you, I played with a drugstore palette the other day. Quality was better than this, less than half the price. I feel like if I pick up a matte formula in a 6-pan, it should, even if the color tone isn't fantastic or the color story isn't my preference personally, I feel like it should blow me away. It should knock me off my feet. This wasn't that. We're gonna give volume 1 a chance. I am going to go away for this evening. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do this on a separate day, same video. I wanted to create like a cohesive look with each of the palettes. That was really the only way for me to do it. So I hope you guys definitely appreciate doing that. And I hope we have better luck with the other palettes. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now. All right, guys, welcome back. Today we are gonna be testing out volume 1 of the Super Neutrals. I want to fully swatch this for you guys, and then we're gonna do one eye look like we did yesterday. We're gonna test the matte formula on this one, see if it's any different. I kind of highly doubt it. The one out here is almost like the same shade as the other one. Like if you hold these ones up side by side, I was looking at these last night after I was filming, and like how different are those two shades? Like how different are they? They're not very different. They almost look like the exact same kind of like satin formula. I have a suspicion that the mattes here are gonna perform pretty similarly to the way that they did last night. Even that peachy shade is really similar. So I don't know, you guys. I will tell you how this one wore. This looked so patchy and started to fade last night. It didn't hold its pigmentation. The shadows ended up looking like super muddy. The best thing about these palettes, honestly, was the shimmers. So I'm hoping for something better today. Let's just swatch this little guy out. Again, I feel like these shimmer formula is gonna save this darn palette. That one's a light kind of duochromy pink. Here's that gold. This one looks stunning. Quite stunning. Buttery too. I'm also pretty excited about this pink shimmer because it's almost like a flip, an orange flip rather. Yeah, it is. It's a duochrome. That one's really pretty. I feel like we'll skip this one. Maybe do this one on the inner corner like last night. Here's that light peachy shade, which, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much it's gonna show up on my lids because they're set. Here's that terracotta, like orange shade. That swatched pretty good. Here we go with that brown satin. Here's that. Feels better than the one last night. So pretty warm tone. I did an orangey peachy blush today so we could match the eye look. It doesn't swatch bad, but that one light shimmer is like a little bit chunky, chalky, doesn't have a huge amount of base pigment. Maybe a little bit boring for me. So I'm gonna go into that light one first. This will go into the crease, outer corner, and we're gonna use these two shimmers on the lid and then this one here for the inner corner. So let's see if we can get any pigmentation out of this light peach shade. Not really. I mean, it's my skin tone, so it's not gonna show up a whole lot on me, but it might show up on a deeper skin tone. In a 6-pan palette, if you lose a shade, it's kind of a bummer, especially when it's a matte, because that's obviously like limiting in terms of like the eye looks you can create with mattes. This one is a lot less patchy than that mauve shade, but it's still not the smoothest I've ever used either. This one has more pigmentation than the mauve shade, that's for sure, as a crease shade. That one is so much better. I went in with a really light hand on this one, so this one has a bunch more pigmentation than, I don't know, pretty much all the shades I've worked with so far. They call this one a cocoa matte. I mean, that I believe. All right, here we go. Also very lightly pigmented. I'm dipping the brush in pretty hard, you guys. So I should be getting the max pigmentation that this shade is gonna offer. I think it's a very similar shade to last night. It might be a little bit more brown than what it was calling itself brown matte yesterday. I feel like it was a grayer tone than brown. This one more true cocoa whatever, and because it's pairing it with like a terracotta, like an orange, it's much more flattering than the other one. The other one needed to be, in my personal opinion, jumping all over the place, like a deeper burgundy, or even like a purpley shade or something like that. This just looked really gray, and yeah, I think it muddied the look, and it calls itself brown anyway. So this is not getting much deeper. Like, that's about the depth that you can give it. I don't know. This terracotta shade though got a little bit patchy in this corner here, just a tiny bit. I do not always work this hard to build depth in the outer corner. Let's do the pink in the middle. This shade is really sparkly, like glittery. I shouldn't say sparkly, but it's almost like little glitters. It picks up fine on a finger. Let's see how it does on a shimmer brush, going into that gold shade. Dry. Okay. The gold is a pretty true gold, so it's pretty vibrant. I like the pink shade a little bit better. I don't know, just a little bit more dimension, because it's like that pink to orange shift. So it's a little bit more flattering. I mean, I don't know. I would love to just play with this pink one kind of on its own. Not bad paired together. Again, no real fallout here. Let's go into the inner corner with the white shade. I prefer this smoother, non-chunky, non-foiled shimmer a little bit more in the inner corner than the lightest shade from volume 2. Plus this one has like a little bit of a shift. So I don't know, that's always a little bit flattering to me when it's like a shifty inner corner. And this cocoa matte though, it just, honestly, it takes over the whole look, and it's such a boring ass shade. I don't know, there's just something about these that's not hitting. All right, I'm going into the lower lash line with that cocoa shade again, then bringing the terracotta to the inner corner. I mean, I might actually see this one, unlike yesterday, because this one is literally the most pigmented of all of them. All of the mattes. This cocoa shade is not deep. I don't know, you guys. I don't like these two darker shades. Like, it won't go darker. Like, it's not gonna get any darker than that. Okay, well, it's all done. Let me throw on some mascara, and then we'll come back and we'll do final thoughts. Okay, we're back. I'm not stunned. I'm just not stunned. For nearly $50 for a 6-pan, I wanted to be stunned. In the past few years, I have tested hundreds of eyeshadow formulas. These do not blow me away. And it could just be that that deepening shade causes this palette to really lose traction overall, because both of them are very similar and both of them are completely underwhelming, not high performers, don't really build depth, fade very quickly. You guys, for 50 bucks, I need to say this again, but I'm glad these are limited edition. Lady Gaga needs to just let these come and let these go, and then spend a little bit of time perfecting her matte formula. That's my unprofessional opinion. Don't expect like significant depth or quality in the matte shades. Otherwise, the shimmer formula is really, really beautiful. And it performs really well. They're very pigmented. They're very light reflecting. They're fun colors. I like the fact that there's an even ratio between mattes and shimmer. I think that's it for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a little bit of a bash fest, but if you were considering getting these, I hope this review helped. I am out of here, you guys, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye.